through with the strength in you. Dun 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 dun. Coming through with the strength in you. Hey boo, hey, coming through with the strength in you. What it do, what it do? Coming through with the strength in you. You made it, good job. Strength in you, coming through. Strength in you, coming through. Hey boo.
Hey, boo. Happy Monday. Yay, 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 yay. We made it. We in this joint. Hey, I'm going to bring my queen in right now. I ain't even about to play with y'all this morning because it's a Monday and that's how our week about to go. It's about to be lit and it's about to be forward thinking and just straight ahead. So let me get my queen on the team in the scene. Good
Hey,
morning.
good morning. How are you?
Ooh, how you doing, boo?
I'm coming through with the strength in you.
Good to see you, honey love. Before we even go any further, we know we got to bring in our king. We got a king on the team. We got to bring him in on the scene. Yeah, coming through with it.
Yo, what's up, guys? Oh my god, I missed you.
You so
I miss you too,
good
Julia.
morning.
I was on the show last week.
You was
I
here last week.
know.
I didn't even know.
No, I wasn't here last week.
I know what happened.
I had just got back from like mini vacation with Amanda, my Amanda. And I didn't want to like rush to like I got here at 1 o'clock my time. So it was like unpacked the laptop. I had just got home. Like I felt like it was insensitive if I just got home and got on the computer and did the show. And said like, my mom was like, "How you doing?" and asking, "Hi,
Good
Jerry."
morning,
Thank
Jerry.
you.
So I felt there was Good Son award goes to Junior because I was like, you know what? Let me skip out. Let me hang out with my mom. I
That's
actually missed her, so it was cool.
Oh,
And
that's
then we
what's
had that hurricane too. So
Yeah, I'm glad y'all good and y'all safe. Speaking of
yeah.
that, so that's 100. I'm glad that everything's good and you here. You made it this week, so good to
Uh
see
huh.
you. But on a real like positive note, that just is amazing that you chose to spend that week with your mama. That time with your mom when you got back because everybody don't get that opportunity and they don't love on mama like they're supposed to. So
Mm-hmm.
I just love that in you. So yay. Y'all give some the wisdom. He did his thing, looking out for mama like whoop,
go
whoop, whoop. What
wisdom,
it do?
go
And
wisdom.
she was, yo, what's good? You're late.
Say what?
Huh?
Courage, I thought Courage was gonna turn out the light.
You thought she
Alexa
was gonna
not
turn off the
acting
light.
right.
Love you, Jennifer.
Love you too.
Jennifer.
I
I
heard
kept saying, Alexa,
Alexa,
turn on the
Alexa,
light.
light.
See y'all crazy.
She
Both of y'all can be
she
talking.
ain't
Y'all
no
stroke
good.
showing. I'm like y'all stroke showing. Don't be showing your stroke on TV. No, no. What you say though? Both of y'all got to listen one at a time. Okay. Courage is laughing because she crazy. Let's go, wisdom. What you say?
And I was saying that like because she was like Alexa, Alexa, screaming at her damn Alexa. Now mine just going off. Never mind.
Well, y'all can tell who y'all on the show with this morning.
Yo, I haven't slept good. I had my appointment today, and I was like concentrating. I had to take a shit.
You know what?
So,
Listen, wrong show.
Hey, this is Monday
Wrong
show, not
show.
Wednesday.
uh, stroke man, stroke man. But that was the first time I was in the doctor. I was like, I can't hold this. I was like, excuse me, where's the bathroom? The coffee was going right through me. No
But
bueno.
although that wasn't quite the show for this, you know what? That is a true thing that people go through. So I think maybe we should kind of touch on just a tinchy. We don't want to
A
talk too
little
much about
bit.
your dookie, but we will. We will
Yo,
talk about when you can't hold it and you just got to do what you got to do when you got to do it because it is what it is, and you don't want it down your leg or chunks on the floor. So I'm
uh,
good.
so
No time for
it was
celebrating.
either chunks on down my leg or you know politely asked to use the bathroom. and I went in there and I blew it up.
I hate the shit out you right now.
Like
I
I
wasn't even
felt like
supposed to be talking like this.
yo, I blew it up, and like I felt bad. I was like, I shouldn't be doing this. I should have waited to get home, but I couldn't.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. I'm just gonna leave that right there.
Yeah.
Yup, see that right
Wait a minute, I'm crying a little bit. Okay, wait. Courage, you was about to say something before Julia wanted to tell us about the attack of the Dookie. So now, what was you about to say, boo?
there. No, he took the cake for me, so I think I might well just wait for mine for Wednesday because he just took the cake.
Listen,
Because
if
I
you
was
want
gonna
to
say
find out,
I was gonna say I was a little bit emotional this past weekend because I realized that not only this month will I turn 42, salute the queen, but a month later I had to remember what all my pole days when they used to call me Miss Prince.
Wait a minute, honey, Miss Prince, of you nasty?
Yeah, when they came in there and said, Miss,
Okay, wait.
look, when they came in and said, Miss Prince, we need to change your IV on your pole.
You know what? I'm tired of it.
what is going on today?
I thought she was
I
talking
thought
about
this was a
another type of
serious show.
pole. Now she talking about the hospital pole. I can't even.
The IV pole, girl. You used to carry that pole around when you walk. You used to have to push it around. So
You know
yeah,
what? I'm
Hmm.
just gonna say that's gonna lead me into the topic of blessings.
Yeah. Yo, this show has started like our Wednesday show starts off. So if you want more of this action, check out Strokes of Humor, where we talk
right.
Look,
more about this kind of stuff.
this is
But
how you
going to
start
the
your week.
topic, yeah, with a good
Yeah,
laugh. It's always a good time.
you start your week this way, and then you hit us with the strokes of humor in the middle of your week, like bow, and then you finish it off with another laugh with the support group on Friday, like, and it's a good
That's a good week.
man, it's lit. You got strength in you all through you, baby. Like, whoa.
Mm,
You don't like the how I
I
say it?
no, like when you said straight to you all through you, I was like, chill,
Too much. Too much. Too
too much.
much.
Coming through with the strength
It's a
of you is cool. I
freaking
love it. But when you're like all through you, all through your body, I'm like, listen,
That's how you want it. You want it all through you on every aspect of your life. You want that strength.
not me. I don't know about y'all, but not me.
The way he said that,
you know you want some strength.
you know you want that strength in you.
Oh my god, no, no.
Y'all, Jerry over here cracking up with us today.
You know you want
I'm
some
just
strength.
my brain went to like, listen.
Where to go?
I just started thinking negative thoughts. I don't want them in my head.
Okay, okay.
No, we don't
We
want
got
them
to
thoughts
go
in
back.
the word. Switch it up.
Start the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Look,
I
this
just
whole
thought about ooh,
you done hit his life.
Flashbacks.
yeah, for real. I had a come to Jesus moment. I was like, wait,
No, but seriously, so I wanted to talk about blessings with y'all today because yesterday, first of all, the first blessing was I was able to drive my car, right? And when I was driving, I saw a yard sale. And y'all know yard sales, we be about that life because you get things for the low. And I saw one of
Mm-hmm.
the mop bucket things like the janitors had that they put the mop in and they able to do it with the one hand. So I was
mm-hmm.
like, yes, that's right for me. So I go over here to this yard sale and I'm like, what's up, neighbors? And y'all know I'm loud and whatever. So I'm talking to these people. They happen to be, two of them happen to be stroke survivors. It was just so crazy. And it was a blessing because one of the people wasn't quite in the survivor state. They were still in the victim state. So they hadn't
Mm.
quite found the blessings. But then after just like having conversations with me, my little interactions, that changed the mind. And we went for a walk, and we're talking about starting a support group right here in my little neighborhood. So
That's awesome.
That's
right, and
great.
I'm like feeling real inspired right now, and I'm like, it's blessings like that make you see, the beauty in life. So I just want to talk about blessings today because I just thought that was just the most amazing thing to have right now.
That's really cool. I think it's important to like not only do support groups online, but
Uh-huh.
like having them person to person, like with somebody you can physically touch. I'm not saying touch on the structure, but just that being there and being present with you adds another, I think, an aspect that you don't get online.
Yeah, a different type of family togetherness
Yeah,
because it's in a physical form versus the virtual.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I understand what you mean
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
completely.
know what you mean.
but yeah, I like I'll be going to my first physical one the second week of October, the
Okay.
second Tuesday. So I'll be going to my first one, and I plan on like letting them know about the online version, that because it's like once a month that they meet up. So if we can build a little community and have like tell them much like you, leave some cards. Maybe we get some other survivors that see our story and get motivated or inspired to go out there and do a little bit more, which is kind of why we do this in the first place. Yo,
Much
I,
love,
I,
Sabu.
yo, I love your name, Sabu Winsong. What?
I
Why
can't take
Jeff?
him. Go to
Why
sleep,
Jeff?
Jeff.
Yo, oh my God.
We just gonna say we love you.
Maybe we
Yeah,
just
but
need to
no,
switch
Bless,
the show.
bless,
Today is
bless
stroke of
your
humor,
heart.
and Wednesday.
Yo, for real.
yeah, but seriously, though, look, it's little things like that when you just go to like things like yard sales or to the grocery store and you meet people, and it's about those little blessings in that part of the day. Like how sometimes we wake up and it's like not really a negative day, but you're not your happy self. Some just in you don't
Yeah.
feel right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then like you go and you talk to somebody at a store or you go to a yard sale, like in my case, and you meet one person and you change like their spirit and their life, and it changes your whole spirit in life. And it's just wait, Sabu said, I'm in Michigan and don't know how to turn on this crazy camera.
Well, you're watching a show, so
You know what? I'm not gonna play with you. Junior, don't put on yourself on this show. Trina, tell me about some blessings for you, Trina, because I can let Junior have his moment. I just want to ask
oh
you
my
what blessings have happened to you over the weekend.
God.
Well, I have blessings every day. It's a blessing just to get up. But I did do something to my friend. Me and my friend went to Houston this weekend, right? And I like to joke. I was having a bad day, so I was like, I'm gonna do something, to lighten myself up. So me and her we go in the store. Now remind you, my friend is white as snow. And she hit me, she tapped me on my shoulder.
Uh-huh.
I say, you ain't got to hit me like that. I'm gonna call them peoples on you.
What?
And everybody in the store just stopped and looked, turned around. Remind you, the cashier is black, and there's two other black people in the store. And they
Uh-huh.
turned and they looked, and she said, "Girl, I'm not your caregiver. I'm your friend." And I said,
Oh,
Oh,
and she was so scared. She said, "Girl, I thought the lives was gonna come and everything." I said, "Ooh, I didn't know they were so serious about they able-bodied people here."
you know
And
what?
it was so funny. It was so funny. She was like, "Oh my God, you just did not sit up here like I abused you."
Lord have mercy.
But
That's what happened.
if that's a blessing when you can have the moments and you can make a situation just out of nut. I mean, just laugh about it because we laughed all the way back about it, and for her to say, "No, I'm not your caregiver. I'm your friend," because that's the way when we go out, that's the way they look at us, like she's my caregiver
Mm-hmm.
instead of my friend, or we can't just hang out the way this world is going. Other blessings, man, it's so many.
Mm-mm. But you just touched on something. You know I had that stroke brain, and I don't want to forget, girl.
Okay.
Now, see, I just forgot saying I just don't want to forget. Wait. Okay, what did you just say about your friend? Wait, first of all, I've been
Which,
leaving this thing up here, y'all, so I can read it. So don't happy Monday. No, but seriously, it's the vitality of shared experiences and the energy exchange that we have when we stand face to face and
yeah.
inexplainable and quite irreplaceable. Absolutely. Oh, he meant unexplainable. Okay, that's how I was gonna read it anyway, but then I tried to read your words, so it's okay anyway. Okay, okay, y'all. What you just say though, for real. Let me think what I was about to say. Stroke brain. This is the effort.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, brain fart.
No talk about farting.
I'm just I'm over it.
No, but like all jokes aside, like there is a blessing to like taking a situation that really is kind of like running the mill, right?
Yeah.
Like and taking that situation and being able to laugh about it with somebody else. I
Mhm.
remember not that long ago, I had when I was getting ready to go out to North Carolina for Jeff's wedding.
Uh-huh.
Um, I had talked to the airlines and I had called this lady and I was like, listen, kind of like getting, wanted to wheelchair access to make my life a little easier.
Yeah.
So she was a fellow survivor. The lady I was talking to, she understood completely what I was going through. And she had been years recovered, good enough to the point where she, like, I couldn't tell on the phone, obviously, that she was a survivor. And she told me, but like, having that, like, oh, it's a small world, and having that kind of a blessing
Yeah.
to realize, like, in all stages of life, you're gonna meet people who are comparable to you and are going through the same kind of
Mhm.
struggle. And for you guys to share a moment, that is a blessing. Yeah, I mean, you got your typical ones, right? Like, oh, I got up this morning, I was able to do this or do that. Like but like those little ones that are the ones that you remember down the road and they stick with you.
Yeah. Now, but I'm glad you said that because it made me remember what I was gonna say. It came back. It came back from the stove. Okay. So I was gonna say, Trina had said courage had said something about how when she's with a friend, how people look at her as the caregiver,
Mm-hmm.
and I can relate to that. And it made me think about how for a long time, either I looked like my husband's grandma because of stroke problems. I got on all these different braces and wheelchairs and blah blah blah. So I'm not looking like his spouse. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking like whatever. So it does something to your self esteem and stuff. So I
No.
was gonna say, ask y'all, do you or have you had experiences where like you've been with a person besides courage? I guess the question is for you, wisdom. Have you had experiences just like that where you've been with maybe your friends, not your significant other, just your homies, and not really feel like they age because of situations that
Um, yes, a little bit. Like, I tend to like my community now. My interaction kind of deals only with like certain friends
yeah,
and a lot of stroke survivors and obviously my girlfriends and my family. So those times that I branched out and hung out with a friend of mine, uh, our lives are in two different places. I realized, like, they're still with the partying, drinking, and oh, let's have a couple of drinks, stuff feel good. Let's smoke to do this, and I don't do none of that now. So it's like we're at two different points in our life now. where I can't see eye to eye with certain things that they do anymore because either I grew out of it or it's like I don't look at it the same way I used to. So
Right.
that brings up a challenge in maintaining certain relationships with people because of that issue, because of that not seeing eye to eye anymore. Like I remember I hung out with a friend of mine. I won't say his name, but like afterwards, I was like, that was kind of awkward. Like, and this is like a friend of mine I've known for years, and we've hung out years and years, and spent a lot of time, like sleepovers, all kinds of things. Um, and after I was like, I'm not like jazzed to go back there. You know, maybe it's a part of me that kind of outgrew the relationship, and part of me definitely is having that stroke and seeing things differently through my lenses and not his anymore. Really.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. I think for me, yeah, I guess I don't necessarily compare myself no more to be like if I'm on their same level. Like
Yeah,
now,
that's the
when I
one.
have to put on braces and other stuff, I don't compare myself to what nobody else is because I know my level is different from their level regardless. So I guess that part doesn't exist anymore. Now I just again get with the blessings of where I am because I know if that same person was in my shoes, they probably wouldn't be able to walk it like I walk it. So
Hmm.
that's the part that I look at to elevate me to be like, oh, I'm this and I'm that. Because I know if somebody was in these shoes, they wouldn't be able to walk. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I guess that brings us a little bit to like perception and how you see things. And does that change how you see your blessing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. A little bit. You know me. I'm always trying to like look at both sides. So like, um, I think a little bit is your perception, how you see things, and
Uh-huh.
a little bit is your willingness and your openness to accept those blessings. Because you might have a blessing right in front of you and not even know it. You know, um, whether that's your own mindset or the way you see things, whatever is hindering you from receiving that blessing, um, or counting it as a blessing. Because sometimes we don't even realize it's a blessing until way after the fact. So I try to stay present now with certain things so I can acknowledge that these things are going on. And yeah, like you said, like you know, not a lot of people can walk a mile in our shoes. So it's kind of like I always have to tell myself that to kind of uplift myself. You know, those days where I'm not feeling 100%, or I'm not feeling like, oh, I'm having my best day, or I'm putting my best foot forward.
Right.
Um, I use those tactics to kind of uplift and kind of get ahead of it, and you know, count those little ones. You know, I get to see my parents every day. I woke up. You know, there's a lot of people that don't get to wake up today, and that's like a blessing in itself. And we got to count those little small victories to you know win the proverbial war, right? Like you have all these small victories that lead to a big victory,
Right.
and as long as you're willing to accept those little ones, like it makes your bigger one more attainable.
That's true, but like I know, because I'm always say, because I'm speak up for the little man who's not necessarily like we are, with finding those little victories and being able to be courageous and get through those things and see the blessings in it. So I guess I'm gonna always ask questions because our goal is to give um, ways and help people through their struggles or whatever it may be. So for those people who do wake up, and yes, they are happy they woke up, but they don't give a damn if they woke up because they woke up in a lot of pain. So how do they get past that? Like, what could you tell them to make them be like, there is a beauty to your pain. There is a bright side for you to know that there's a purpose for this pain.
That's kind of a tricky question, right? Because
Yeah.
like one point, like yeah, like you can say the whole cliche, but what I've been like leaning towards is like it's only temporary. Like whatever we go through in life, if you think about it, this year might not be the best year of your life. But that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean next year is gonna be like that. You know, if I thought about a year, because I just hit a year recently, if I think about how I started off the stroke to where I am now, two different people. You know, mindset. At the time, I thought my world was over. You know, I was out riding high on my comedy dream. I was making money. I was doing what I had to do, and all that came to a stop. And I had to realize, like, I can sit here with our quote of the week of the show is was me, right? I can sit here and this sucks. I can change my perception and change my outlook. And a year ago, was in a wheelchair. I could barely eat. I could barely talk. And now,
Mm,
you know, I'm still struggling, but I'm not in a wheelchair. I could
right.
eat. You know, I could talk. Um, so you know, focus on those little blessings. When you can't focus on the bigger picture, focus on the smaller one, and then they eventually will change your mindset to, you know, hopefully accept those bigger blessings and be able to kind of rationalize that this is only temporary. You know, your struggle, whatever it isn't gonna last forever. You know, time heals all wounds, right? And it's true. Like,
I don't know. Now that one I can't agree with
why is that?
because one wound for me that still hasn't healed is the death of my mom. And
Mm,
I am 40 years old. She's been gone since I was 10. So that's 30 years. And I can still just have a random day where I'm crying about it. So
yeah.
no matter how much time goes away, that wound I feel like will never heal. But you learn how to cope and deal and band-aid that wound to be okay enough to not bleed out, if that makes sense.
No, I 100%. But like when I say heal, time heals all wounds, doesn't mean you're not gonna have a scar, right?
Mhm.
Like you're still gonna have that pain. You're still gonna have the reminder. Like for your instance, you're not fully healed, but you still have that scar, right? Like you're able to go through your day. It's not like you're sitting here like every day is like, oh, I don't want to do anything today because my mom died 30 years ago. Like
But yeah,
yeah, like you still have the strength to wake up every day and like I said, you still have that wound. You still look at it and be like, damn, mom's not here. You know?
true. But that's a, I guess, and then that's a whole different wound than like the trauma wound.
Yeah,
Because like
Yeah.
for me, although I accept being handy capable, I cry about it often. And especially
yeah.
like when I want to do my best with my arm, but I can't just because of what it is and the pain behind it. It's a wound that seems like it constantly opens itself a little further, if that makes sense. And then you just got to learn how to, I don't know, bandage it enough or just sew it up a little bit and be okay, can keep it pushing. But that's a whole different type of wound, I feel like.
Yeah, and like there's different kind of pain for different kind of
Yeah,
things that happen in your life. So not necessarily time is gonna heal it and to the point where you know, it's been 2 years, it went 3 years, like I'm over it. Not
right.
saying that at all. Um, but it does get easier to cope with, like you said.
Yeah,
So, and that's all your perception. That's all how you see things. You know, um, with time, you're able to learn, hopefully, and grow from a situation. I've grown so much in this year that surpassed in my life where like I feel like I skipped 3 levels. You know, like if I would have stayed doing what I was doing, right, and living the life I was living, I was on the right track. But I would have took me 3 years instead of or longer. Who knows, right?
yeah,
Instead of like this 1 year where like life truly humbled me, and I was able to kind of like think of things differently and learn from the old ways I used to do things and to new ways I do things. So, like I said, it's all about reception and time.
yeah, always. And what do you think, Miss Courage, Miss So Quiet in the corner?
I was listening to Junior, but I feel the same way from my experience. Like it all starts with you. It all begins with you. I mean, you were talking about reaching someone that's in their stage where they can't see goodness out of their trauma, or they don't want to overlook, or you can go to them and tell them your testimony. Well, I did this and I did this. Well, they probably looking at you like, I don't want to hear your story right now
Mm-hmm.
because they can't see that. So it all begins with them. But at the same time, as long as you let misery be your company, you will never be able to see what you can or can't do. Like if you just sit there and be like, oh, I had a stroke, because I went through that. And it was a lot of times that I said, oh, I can't do this, I can't do this, and I can't do that. Well, when you start going out and embracing other people, and you got to get the ones that's not on the same level as you, but then they
Absolutely.
advance to another level, and you connect with them people, then you start going out and doing stuff, and you realize that, hey, I can do this. You have a whole different perspective of your life. I mean, it's like, wow, I didn't wasted 2 or 3 years being here miserable when I could have been enjoying myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it depends on that person reaching that mindset to be like, this is, this is not, no, you're not going to take no more stroke. You is not going to win. You're not taking nothing else away from me. I'm finna demand you. I'm finna be a power over you. You're not finna be a power over me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah, we had just said
Yeah,
radical.
I was gonna say, bring that back up because I love that.
You want to read it?
Radical acceptance does not come without a price. We don't want to remember, but we can never forget. And that's something I learned from Jeff in our relationship and our friendship was radical acceptance. I had to like be okay with not being okay with myself. And what I mean by that, it was like not every day I wake up, hey, happy go lucky junior. Some days it's really tough for me. Like most survivors of trauma, like not every day is a good day, you know, and that's okay. Like as long as you're always gonna present yourself in the right light and you're trying your absolute best and you're not leaving anything on the table, you can be proud of where you are. And radical acceptance has been such a instrumental part of my life moving forward because like it was hard to swallow that pill like, oh, 34 in the prime of my life, and it should like I'm following my dream career, I'm doing what I'm doing, the everything is on like clicking, everything is clicking, and then it just stops. I had to like accept that this is a part of my life now moving forward, and it didn't come easy. It didn't come easy, but I'm glad that I was able to reach a level where I was able to accept, okay, like this sucked, but it's part of who I am now. And how can we make our best version now with the cards that we were dealt, And I think if we're able to start thinking that way, things become a little more clearer, where
Yeah.
it's not so
yeah,
foggy everywhere you look.
Right. Yeah, but like we said, it's all easier said than done, and that's another thing
Yeah,
that just takes practice, and you got to literally practice thinking like that and just accepting what you can and can't, being okay with not being okay. Like Wisdom said, that's a thing, and that ain't even thinking just for trauma survivors. But since everybody suffers from trauma, literally, we ain't even got to say of trauma survivors, just of all people, because
yeah,
we all have to just learn to sometimes be okay with not being okay, or just accepting what is and moving on with it and making the best of it. But those tools come in finding people like how you guys are like my outlet. Y'all are my tools when I'm having bad days. We can build each other up. That's what community is fun about, elevation, because we can't get we can't get through this thing alone. So it takes us to actually speak up. So when
no,
people having issues, they need to, be able to call that thing a thing and tell somebody they need help and not be judged for it. Oftentimes in our community, I said that because oftentimes in our communities, some people go to their friends and everybody's so used to having fun that you go to them with a problem, they make fun of your problem. And it makes you shut down and it makes you want to go into a shell because now you're embarrassed that you told this person XYZ. but that wasn't what you were supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like you were supposed to really be there for that person, be that shoulder. Yeah, encourage them, motivate them, help them through. And that's why this show is so important to me because it's not many of us that's doing what we do.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's a sad reality that we live in. Um, I'm glad that I was able to find people like you and Courage and Jeff and people that I know are go-getters. Um, because there's not. If you look at the grand population, right, of stroke survivors, for instance, um, there's there's some redlets that there. I could look up to them. But for those, as many people as you could look up to, there's those people that bring negativity all the time. And I want to change it. I think that's the biggest part of the show is changing what a survivor of trauma means, and not letting that define who you are as a person moving
Absolutely.
forward. You know, we all have regrets. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? Um, but it's how you are able to learn your lessons because life is not always going to be peaches and cream. You're going to deal with something at some point. Not everything is always going to be rainbows and butterflies, right? You're going to go through some shit, excuse the French, but it's how you handle that trauma, how you pick yourself up, that defines who you are as a person, defines you as a character, and your morals, right? Like how you attack the next day. All right, today wasn't so good. How am I gonna do better tomorrow? And I think with people like me, you, Courage, Jeff, there's I can go off, right? Um, those shining examples of what it's like to deal with adversity and climb out of that hole um is something that needs like not always gonna get shown a light on because
Yeah.
this world vibes on negativity so much. But practice positivity because it's not you don't wake up and you're like I'm gonna have a good day. Like you have to kind of rework your brain to be like, okay, like this was a hard part of my day, it's over, move on,
Yeah.
and that takes time
Yeah.
and it takes practice.
Yeah. Literally everything takes practice, like in real
Um,
life. And go ahead, Miss Courage, because your thing is, I guess, going slow. So I don't be knowing you about to talk. That thing.
That part.
I'm like that thing. But no, it all takes practice. Oh, here she come again, y'all. But I'm gonna continue with
yes.
everything takes practice, and being positive is just one of those things that again takes practice. Because as soon as you tell like life that you're gonna be positive, everything in the world that's negative is gonna come your way just to see how you're gonna handle it. So be
Yep.
prepared, honey. Be prepared to really do what you say you're gonna do and own it, because it's gonna test you. Now you back, Sugarfoot, honey love. Can you talk to us, Courage?
I'm gonna try.
I'm gonna try.
No, I'm saying that's why it's so important to start these Zoom meetings, weekly meetings.
Dude,
These are
Okay.
private meetings.
I
Come
heard part
in.
of that.
She said that's why it's so important that you guys get in tune with the Zoom meetings weekly on
How
Zoom.
did you hear that?
I just, I, I'm a mother.
I guess.
Oh, you can hear me? Uh-huh.
There you go,
It's
girl. Hey,
Hear me now?
yeah, girl.
Yeah.
Look, at least she cute, y'all. At least she cute. Smile, honey.
I don't know what's going. It's these appointments, I guess. I don't know what they got going. Am I stuck again?
You stuck, but we can hear you kinda.
technical
I guess
difficulties.
forget it.
We love y'all for
Yeah.
being patient
Um,
with this situation.
But I think I know where you're going, Courage. Tell me if I'm wrong. But I think that's what you were trying to say is that's why it's so important to get involved, right, into these weekly support groups because I didn't know there was a whole community out there until I got involved, you know, and I was able to like, oh, this person went through the same, similar, right? Not the same. We all have our own journey, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
this person gonna understand what I'm going through, and instead of feeling like,
Yes.
I remember the first couple of months, I felt so isolated. I felt like I was on my own planet because like nobody around me could relate to what I was going through.
Yeah.
So it was like,
Yes.
and I having to relearn everything, with a stroke. Um, there's not. I want to bring more awareness because I heard of the word stroke, but I didn't know what it meant. I didn't
Right.
know the recovery time. I didn't know what it entailed. Yeah, that you're pretty much gonna have to train your body to do everything
All over.
all over again.
Oh my God, the
I
stroke.
was like, nah, a couple of months, I'll be good. Like I was thinking like that because I didn't
I
know,
said 2 weeks.
and yeah, I was like, I'm gonna give her a little bit and I'll be fine. Like how
Yes.
naive I was, but getting involved in these support groups shows you that you're not alone, and when you when it gets a little too tough, you can depend on other people who know what you're going through because they've been on a similar journey and a similar walk as you. So it becomes a lot easier to know that the person left or right or you kind of went through the same thing. Where like you're in your family, for instance, they're not going to be able to relate unless
No.
there's like a history of strokes in the family and they kind of already know what time it is. But in my line, it was like you heard of it, but I was the first one that really had one. So it was like now it's a learning curve, right? Like now it's like learning to teach my parents and my siblings how to interact because at first they were like real like babying me too much. Like you know,
Right.
they're like,
You
"Can
know,
we do this? Can we do that?" I'm
that's
like,
a good
"Yeah,
point, though, right there, Wisdom. You just brought up a very good point that a lot of caregivers do, and survivors take it because they feel like they can't, and in a way, it hinders and keeps them at that lower recovery level because you depended on somebody to wait on you hand and foot instead of you literally just being persistent and taking them eensy weensy. We know they take forever steps. Like I know what I'm, you know what I'm saying, like
yeah,
because I think, and I know every stroke is different. Don't get me wrong, but I personally think within that first year, you should have been able to accomplish at least one task, at
yeah,
least one thing. Whether it's sitting up on your own, going to get your own water, taking yourself to the bathroom, being able to shower on your own. Like somebody a year later shouldn't still be caring for you
yeah,
completely. You know what I'm saying?
completely, yeah, yeah,
So I feel like our community, and I'm talking about the stroke world community, it's a lot of us who are survivors, but it's a lot of us who are victims, and they choose to stay there. And I guess to you, you are the one I'm speaking to. You are not a victim. You are as strong as your will to fight to go forward. Can't nothing stop you but you. Don't let yourself rot and act like you're dead. You still got breath in your body. And as long as there's breath in your body, there is fight. You're only a burden if you're not trying. That's when it becomes a burden to the people in your life, and that's unfair to them. So I encourage you to get up, baby, and move because you can do it. There ain't nothing stopping you but you. Be driven enough to know ain't nothing stopping you but you.
yeah,
Yeah, I just had to say that because I met a person recently and it was like, well, I can't do that because my leg does this, and I can't do this because this, and this. And it's like, okay, but excuses only go so far. Because to me, where there's will, there's way.
yeah,
So, and I just felt like I don't know if other survivors are aware that they are turning other survivors off. Like it makes us not want. It's a pushback type situation because it's
yeah,
like here I am putting all of my effort and energy and everything into this, and you just want to be like, "Woe was me," and I'm not that type of chick, so it rubs me
Hmm.
the wrong way. Are you guys like that at all?
I am, especially, I don't know about you, Courage, but when I talk to other survivors and because like I'm really positive driven, like I'm real positive driven, so when I know what I bring to the table, so a lot of people see my journey and they have like questions or they're having a rough day, they just need someone positive to talk to that knows what they're going through. And when I talk to people, and I could just tell within the first 5 minutes they're not trying as hard as they should, right? In
Yeah.
their recovery, and they're making
Hey,
excuse like
Jeff.
this.
Hey, wait. You gotta hit us. Hit,
Oh, oh, oh.
hit it. Hit it. Hit it. Hit it with the hit it.
Sleazy, sleazy.
We had to do you,
But
boo. Hey, good morning, honey love.
so I hope I didn't wake my mom up with that one. But going back to it, it's like yeah, it's a huge turn off because like to me, I'm like leaving it on the table, trying to get better, and you're gonna sit here and complain like you just had the stroke, and you've been rocking with the stroke now for 3 4 years.
Right? Say 3 4 years.
Like get over it, Like I got over it, and like I just hit a year. So if anybody's gonna complain about anything, it should be me, not the one that's 3 4 years in. And I understand that there's you don't have access to your arm or whatever. Like I get it, but you talk about you can't do nothing for yourself.
Huh.
Nothing. You're still waiting on your caregiver, mom, dad, whoever, to do this for you. Like I can take a shower myself. I can, everybody heals differently, but not everybody is applying themselves the way they should. And you can't, I don't want to come off mean or not supportive, but when I hear, oh, I drink and I party and oh, I haven't, done this or I can't do that. Well, have you done the necessary things to kind of get over your shit?
Right.
And if you're not, you need to like look in the mirror, right, and look at yourself and look at what's going
Absolutely.
on and be able to process that on your own. I can only give you so much motivation and inspiration before it becomes just another thing I'm doing.
Yep, absolutely. When you see that you're doing all this and they're not even paying attention to it, it's like, what am I doing it for? But no, guys, we got our question. We got a question on the scene for the team. Hey, I'm a rapper. Hey, what is your biggest struggle today and how are you coping with it? Good question, Jeff. Courage, you should answer this question first, honey love, because we talk a lot.
My biggest struggle is gravity when I'm outside. And just like last night, I was over a friend's house and I was walking like in the yard, and you know how you can tell when like it's leveled up,
Oh, yeah.
and so it's like you feeling like you finna fall forward.
Uh-huh.
So and usually it'd be like whoever with me try to come and walk on side of me, and I was like, no, you move. You said you stay back, and I learned that I'm learning now to like lean into it. And even if I have to step
Mhm.
slowly,
Yes, ma'am.
that's okay. Long as I get to the bottom and I made it. But I didn't want her to grab me or try to help support me. I told her, no, you just stand to the side and let me do it. And so that's what I'm working on. And I
Love
want
it.
to go back to like, man, Junior, when you was talking about everything that you accomplished, here I am thinking that I haven't accomplished much. And I was like, wow.
Absolutely.
Within the first year, I was doing everything. I was cooking, cleaning, washing clothes, everything. So I was like, okay, let me pat myself on the back. But my biggest struggle is like, it's just my walking when I side. That's my biggest struggle right now.
Okay.
I didn't came so far. Just this year, like from where I was from last year, and that's why I say meet people that's the level up over you, not someone that's still at the same level because you can't call on them people. You don't want to call on somebody, girl. I'm sad today, and they saying me too. That's not
True.
gonna help. That's
Yeah.
not gonna help. Like,
That wasn't funny, but I know what you mean because I've done that. Like, I'll call somebody like I'm having a rough, like today is just rough. And they're like, girl, let me tell you about my day. And I'm like, well, what the hell?
yeah, because I experienced that now, Joe. When I first met you, I would call on you all the time. I'd be like, oh, I'm having a bad day today because I did stroke. And you'd be like, hold up, stop. I only get a stroke 5 minutes of my day, and you need to do this. You would come with it. And them is the type of people you need to make you want to change your mindset and be like, hey, in the morning when I have that, I'll be like, you know what? I'm just grateful. Let me change my mindset because I know my crew gonna get on me. Let me get up and get to going, get to moving, you know. So
That's what's up.
that's the kind of people that you want to link up with, not somebody that's gonna sit inside you on the wheelchair and be like, I can't move my leg neither.
You know
You
what?
know.
And for you, Wisdom, what is your biggest struggle and how you coping today?
Same thing to courage. Like my
Balance.
balance. Yeah, my
Okay.
balance has been every lately. Um, it has me wanting to focus more on like not lifting weights. Like I like every day. Like that's all well and dandy, but like I'm focusing more on the things I really need to work with. Like I can lift 100 pounds. I know that now. So let's work on balance for a little bit. So
Yeah.
how I'm coping with that is looking in the mirror and saying, okay, we got your strength down, we got this down. Let's focus on what's next. And right now, balance is my biggest flaw. So doing a lot more of those exercises, and that's what I'm struggling with personally right now. So
Okay.
um dealing with that is, a walk in the park for me. Like I already know what time it is, so I can't say it like I can't walk right now. Like I know what
Not,
time it
I
is.
feel you. You so damn crazy. Well, speaking of that, that's gonna make me. You know what? Before I even tell y'all what my struggle is, that just made me think about our support group for this Friday. Let me just tell the people. I think we should have a little exercise group this Friday on the Zoom.
Ooh,
Just a little workout session. So I think I'm gonna do a little something with that. So if you're interested, sign up for the Zoom this weekend, this Friday. We're finna get lit together because that is what I've been struggling with. Today, my past struggle has been motivation and working out, getting driven again, being motivated and encouraging myself. As you can tell, I'm good at talking to other people and keeping them inspired and keeping them motivated, but only person really in my ear is Wisdom. So, but your messages keep me going, but that's not me being driven like I'm supposed to be. So
yeah,
one of the ways I'm coping right now is just accepting that I'm struggling, accepting that I need a little help, accepting that somebody got to get in this ear and motivate Joy. You know what I'm saying? So I was just saying, like, I'm about to hop on strengthen you at all costs. I ain't even doing homework first. That I've been putting school and everything else first. That I've been putting my self care to the side, and
hmm,
my body is paying for it. And I've been crying a lot more because my arm is shrinking, and it's just a lot of stuff that's happening with my physical because I haven't been taking care of myself, and it's because I've been so focused with trying to make sure I pass with school. And then when my job cut my hours, I've been looking for work. So it's like I got so many other stresses on my head that I haven't really even
hmm,
been thinking about my body. But the stresses is what's been making me even more tight. So that's not, it's kind of conducive to
yeah.
what.
It's a lose situation.
So it's like just do what's necessary, and some gonna have to go to the side. And as of right now, I'm putting a job on the side. If I can't listen, I did just fine for years without working. It'll be a
Mm,
struggle, most definitely, but I gotta put me first because my body is paying for it, and I'm starting to lose sleep, and my emotions are out of whack, and I'm not me, and I can feel it and see it. So to cope with it, I gotta do something about it.
yeah,
You
this
need to do
question
self.
is really good. Um, what my question, what do y'all recommend to survivors that given up on recovery? Um, to make the short and sweet, remember why you started.
Question.
Remember why you started. Um, I realized after a certain time, you kind of max out on your motivation, your drive, right? Like you can only get so far, and remembering why you started
Mhm.
is crucial for me. Like I know once I hit my wall, like that's what I'm gonna do. Remember why I started because I didn't go on this journey to not get as close to 100%. Nobody starts this journey like like I'm okay with this. Like you want to get like as close to humanly possible 100%, then you can. So whether that's your kids, a future with your significant other, um, getting back to your career, remember why you started, and that will help rejuvenate that passion for recovery again. Because everyone has it. Like it's
Yeah.
not something that goes away. Like I could I could get a little burnout and a little fatigue. Um,
Well, no, it goes away. It go. That's that drive and that motivation. If you're not surrounding yourself with the right energy, it can definitely be depleted because somebody is stealing from you, but ain't nobody putting into you. You know what I'm saying? So you want to make sure you're around people that's putting into you too, like this. And like Wisdom said, remember why you started. But I'm sorry I cut you off. I just had to say that because it
that that
does go
was
away.
that was pretty much it, and I think that's a great question, Deborah. I think we should talk more about that next week. I think that's a great topic.
That's a great one. Did you have anything to say, Courage, before I
But
keep running my mouth?
I feel like that when you put in your mind that you want to give up on recovery, it's other things you have to. When you say you want to give up on recovery, if you're a mother or father, you not only giving up on recovery, you giving up on you telling your kids, "Hey, I didn't gave up." You letting them see what giving up is. You letting them. You giving up on them. You giving up on the people that has been there for you, pushing for you. It's more than when you stop. It's more people behind you that you stopping too. That not only if you giving up on recovery, you done gave up on the invested time that's been put into helping you, or it's
Absolutely.
just more than just recovery when you stop. Like you giving up on a lot than just recovery. Then you
Absolutely.
that you're not realizing.
Deborah made a good point, guys. She said the word plateau makes people give up, and that is a great point.
Yeah.
And so we need to remind people that there is no plateau as long as you put in effort. That's
Hmm.
what the only time you plateau is when you stop. If you never stop, you never plateau. Don't
You
let
know,
no doctor, don't no survivor, can't nobody tell you that there's a plateau because there absolutely isn't.
Great,
this
real quick. I just remembered Michelle Jensen didn't start working on it until 9 years in, and
mhm.
she's made great strides. So there's no such thing as a plateau. It's a hot button question or a hot what is it, a hot topic that you doctors want to say, oh, you hit your plateau and we would take that as law. No, don't accept that as your story. You write your story. Go out there and
You
make it.
oh,
Absolutely.
I had a therapist tell me like, well, basically after 6 months, there's no more improvement. And just last week, my OT therapist came in and showed me how to stretch my arm out using this exercising pose. And since I've been doing it, the other night I went to reach for something with my right hand, and my left hand just automatically just reached out and grabbed this
I
paper.
know that's right.
It wasn't perfect, but it did. Just last night I went to wash my hand and it reached out again and grabbed the faucet to turn off the water. Like I
Good.
was holding it, but I didn't have a good grip, but I could push the faucet back off, the water off.
That's what's
So it's
up.
like, no, I'm seeing a difference now that if you keep on pushing and you keep on about that, it's your body is gonna react.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, let me say congratulations, Hunty. That is amazing. That is a good way to end the show. Before I exit the show, do you guys want to leave our beautiful viewers with any kind words?
Stay positive. If no one has told you I love you today, we love you. Stay strong and stay positive. I love you guys.
Miss
Love
Curves?
you.
He gonna give y'all all that flavor, then she gonna come in and talk about some love
Oh,
you.
oh, I
Yeah,
thought you.
dry as hell.
No, but we love you guys. Never
No.
give in to giving up on you. And don't forget, when you're down, there's nowhere else to go but up. Put your crown on, put that lantern in that crown, turn that light up, let that light radiate. Positivity, only let anything negative bounce back. We love you, honey. Until next time.